Well, hello, beautiful friends. My name is Jenny. Welcome to the House of Jen. I am so excited because I have a Trader Joe's flower haul I am going to show you, and we are going to create 5 fabulous arrangements. Oops, actually 8. I created 3 off camera, so stay tuned to the end to check out those. Like, subscribe. We are going to have a blast together. Let's jump in. Hey, friends. So come on and let me show you the Trader Joe's haul, my flower haul, because we are going to make a lot of fun Easter inspired spring floral arrangements. So let me show you what I got. Okay, so I got these big, gorgeous lemony yellow jumbo mums. And these just looked really citrusy and kind of green and white. I like the two-tone. And I could not leave these little moss balls. I think of moss around this time of year. And then we have the Star of Bethlehem, which is really pretty. And this kind of like yellow aster, some more greenery. I got this beautiful oriental lilies, some hydrangeas. And then, of course, I had to get tulips, right? Oh my goodness, it's so pretty, all the orange. And then some spray roses. Just because, right? And some more greenery. I love these, are so gorgeous. And then, of course, these lovely little ranunculus. They're so sweet. Can't wait to show you what we're going to do today. Okay, so what I'm excited to share with you is different styles of these floral centerpieces, because you may be like colorful, whimsical, but I want to start out with a pristine, kind of sophisticated, really, if you are designing flowers, you may even want to name it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to name each one of our arrangements. This one is going to be called, oh, it's heavy. Oh, I filled it, well, my husband filled it with bleach water and floral food. And it's super, super heavy. So make sure you get in the gym, get your workout in if you are doing some heavy floral lifting. Okay, this one, why don't we name it at the end? How about that? But we are going to start off with these gorgeous, y'all, I think I'm totally obsessed. They had them in pink, and I almost grabbed the pink, but I was really going for more of that like clean, minimalist sort of look. These are the oriental lilies. And what you want to do is you want to see, I have tons, as you see, I have tons of flowers to choose from. And a big rookie mistake that you can make, that I made, was just trying to stuff as many flowers as I could in the vase. So we don't want to do that. But I love how the scale of this piece and this kind of like creamy vase, I'm just totally obsessed. I'm going to pluck off the leaves that might have the possibility of going in the water. But at the same time, I don't want to leave off all the leaves because they're pretty, right? So we are just going to kind of flank. I'm going to move this over so you can see what I'm doing. I have my little marble lazy Susan here. Isn't that fun? So a lot of these are not open right now. And that's exactly what we want, right? Because we want them to later be opened. And just snipping off the ends at a little angle. And we don't want them all to be the same height. We want to kind of stair step them so they will be natural and kind of cascading. And y'all, that's 2. Guess what? I'm going to put a third one in here. And I am debating not doing anything other than just this on this arrangement. Now, I would say I could leave it like this, but I probably should have picked up like one more stem. And so I do feel like it needs something, although this would be quite lovely. I'm looking at it, but I still feel like it needs something. So if you look in here, there's still a lot of room in the vase. And so you don't want it to be crowded, but at the same time, you don't want it to be, like not, filled up enough. So I'm thinking, yes, I really like these, a couple of these stems to pair in with it. I'm thinking yes. So I could just put in one here for a little classic. I even wish these were longer. Oh, you guys, why are they not longer? Okay, this one's longer. Let's take a longer one. Well, no, they're short. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just tuck them off to the sides because I really like how tall and elegant our oriental lilies are. So I'm going to got 1, 2. Let's see. We're going to stick another one over here. Just turn it around. 3. Looks really good. And I feel like it needs one right here. So really, a lot of times they say do 3, do 5, do odd numbers. But then sometimes when you have vases, you just say, hey, that seems right to me. And you can just eyeball it. Okay, so I really like that. I feel like now it's full, it's complete. I feel like the vision we accomplished, which was to make sure that we stayed true to the vision of our piece. And now we are going to name it. We are going to name this one. How about, what would be an elegant, lovely name? Simone. This is Simone. Okay, let's go on to our next piece. Okay, so if you want a traditional crowd pleaser Easter centerpiece that you can just go boop, 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 and done, and it's so pretty, do this one. Okay, so I found these gorgeous carrots. My precious mother-in-law sent me actually a picture, which was, the idea and inspo for this piece. So thank you, with the carrots. These organic ones, instead of just doing all orange, you can get the organic variety. I picked up mine at Trader Joe's. Get 2 bags because you don't want to run out, okay? But they have purple and orange and this really pretty kind of pale yellow. So how absolutely beautiful is that, right? And so you want to take a little vase. I've got mine all prepared here. And you want to drop it in. Now, ideally, you could have one lower. This is what I had, so we're going to make it work. And then you want to kind of arrange your carrots. I like to kind of have some upside down, some this away. We may add the purple, but I'm thinking just the orange and the yellow. Do you? But you can just kind of invert some of them just like so. And then you just want to go all the way around. Like some can be up, some can be down. But it's just so cute, you guys. And look how fun this is and how elegant and simple. Use your little lazy Susan. I almost forgot that I had it here. That's what it's for. Come on, for our ease. This one doesn't stick in there. So that's why you want to get 2 bags. Don't just grab 1 bag or you will regret it. Okay, look how cute that one is. That one's taller. That one's shorter. Oh, this is so fun. You could even recruit your kids to help with this one if you had the patience and the time, of course. Okay, let's see. Let's put this one right there. And let's see, we need 1 more. Should I add a purple one? Should I? No. I'm going to just play it safe and let's see, stick it in that way. Perfect. So you really need to rotate them because some of them will just do their thing. But how cute is that? Okay, so now you want to hydrate your carrots. So you want to get a little pitcher of water. It's easier to arrange them first, I think. You do you. And then you add the water. I probably would even want more water than this. But just get a pitcher because you want them to stay hydrated, okay? I would probably even add more, but, okay. And then I just think it would be really, really pretty. I picked up orange because orange carrots, right? Orange tulips. And then, okay, come on. How did that just take like less than 5 minutes? I did not set a timer, but oh my goodness, how easy, how fun is that? I almost even, y'all, like, this is one of these things where this is overcrowded for this vase. So I'm just gonna kind of strategically place these in. I like some floppy doppy ones, especially when you have a larger piece. You really want some floppy doppies, okay? Floppy doppies. That looks good. And then I'm gonna add this one in over here. All right. And how cute and elegant and easy. Well, I say it's easy until you run into a little leaf. Sometimes they do their own thing. Okay, but you get the idea, right? I mean, like, how cute is that? I'm sure I'm going to fuss, add a few more. But you guys, like, how fun would that be for your Easter table? And it would just, the kids would love it. You could even, like, line some food or snacks around your little lazy Susan. But I absolutely love this one. Oh, and I almost forgot. You guys, we have to name it, right? I think I'm going to call this one Francis. Okay, so yes, this is a black vase. Typically you think of white and light colors, but if you think of it like a poem from death to life, resurrection power, okay, you see where I'm going. Or you can just pick a lovely vase. Okay, see, this has 3 tiers. I absolutely love it, and we're going to name this one too. It is super, super elegant, and I want to show you how different your pieces can look just by swapping out the flowers, okay? So the first flowers we are going to do, I'm wearing yellow and black, you can tell I like the color combination, is just drop, and you want them to breathe, but just drop some ranunculus. I think these are so sweet. They have different buds and different blooms, and we're just gonna drop some of these. I did not use all. I still have one left over, so don't force them all in. But this is so pretty, okay? And this would be a lovely little look, just like this. I think it's so sweet. I think we'll call this one Samantha. It's just gorgeous, right? It's elegant, it's simple, it's beautiful, bright, vibrant. Okay, so that's very pretty. All right, now let's swap the flowers. Ready? Okay, I'm gonna just drop in the Star of Bethlehem. Isn't that a beautiful name? Okay. Okay, so that still looks like it needs something. So I actually got these from outside. I just clipped them from my garden. And I think just adding in a couple of these, 1, 2, like so, if it'll go in there. Okay, so that's really pretty, right? That gives a simple, elegant, pure, pristine look. I love, love, love that one. I don't even feel like I need to name this one. I'm not going to. I think the Star of Bethlehem kind of, it's just so pretty and simple, but you get the idea, okay? So that gives it a whole different kind of look. Okay, let's do one more. One more. Okay, now let's just put in something super simple. I was going to do hydrangeas, but I feel like it might overpower it. What should I do? How about just some green moss? I'm going to use this for something else. So they're going to be too tall, but you get the idea. Look at that, okay? The green, I really like that. If you wanted to just do some green moss balls with the black base, like, how pretty is that? But I hope this gave you some fun ideas. Now we're going to actually build a vase with some floral foam. Okay, for this next piece, it's very simple. I just have the little wet floral foam all tucked in there. Now, don't be afraid to put some wedge pieces in there, okay? Because you want to have all the circumference possible, okay? And I really love these little moss balls. I really was tempted to put some yellow in here, but I feel like with this kind of neutral tone, it may clash. So you really want to think about your color scheme as you are designing your piece. Okay, so obviously these little guys have to come off because ew, ew, ew. All right, let's see. I'm gonna stick this in here to see the height. I still want to take just a little more off, but once you snip it, remember that's it, right? Ow! Oh. Be careful, it really did hurt. I pinched myself. Okay, so we're gonna put this on one side. Once you stick it in there, it's kind of in there. Okay, so I got one there. I still, y'all, I kind of tilted it and I'm gonna move it around. There we go. I did not like the angle. I'm very fussy, very, very fussy about my angles of my flowers. So we're just gonna do the same thing we did here on the other side, but I'm gonna put one taller, okay? I'm gonna pop off all of these little dead, decrepit leaves because they are just gonna get worse. And really, I really should have done the same here. Because, I mean, if they look like this now and you're putting it in floral foam, it's not gonna be pretty. So especially if you're doing a DIY event, a DIY wedding, you really, really want to pop these guys off. Okay, but how cute and whimsical are these little moss balls? Okay, so we're gonna make this one taller. I'm gonna stick it in here. Okay, that's really cute. And then again, turn it the way that you want. I kind of want it to, you know, you want to think of a geometric shape, right? So we're kind of doing a triangle kind of look right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna come in here and punch in with these kind of lovely little mums. These are kind of cabbage-like, so I guess our vision for this one is just very kind of simple, elegant, timeless. And we're just gonna pop these in here. I have seen arrangements that they actually use cabbage. And I'm like, oh, I would love to do that too, that'd be fun. Okay, so let's see, I'm just gonna pop this one down in here. And oh, I'm really loving how the leaves are just kind of flanking around. So we're gonna put one right here, and then I'm gonna put one over here on this side. Y'all, it really does get more relaxing as you go along. Okay, so look at this, how pretty. I want to leave some leaves, but not all of them. Okay, and then I want to kind of decide where. This one's gonna kind of go underneath our moss ball because I kind of want that moss ball to be kind of the accent right there, right? All right, let me kind of, I have some room here too. We're gonna put this one a little bit more. I'm gonna stick this one in right underneath, and we're gonna see how these two, I'm gonna kind of strategically put these two flowers underneath. Okay, all right, that's looking good. And this is kind of a taller arrangement. I really like what we have going on here. And I'm just gonna keep going with the moss balls because they make me happy. Y'all, when I see these, they are hard to leave in the store, I tell you. Trader Joe's was crowded today. There were some people at Trader Joe's, I tell you. And you know, it was really sweet. There was this one lady, you could tell she was very extroverted. She was in the flower section and she was on her speaker phone. I get very distracted for some reason. I'm gonna make this one even taller when people are on their speaker phones. So I guess everyone's different. I like it kind of peaceful and quiet when I'm shopping, but that's just not possible these days. Okay, so there we go. I like the 3. That's very interesting, isn't it? It looks very organic. Okay, and then we're just gonna add in some more of these little green white things. Okay, if you see any little stems, pop them off. They're not gonna do anybody any favors. They're aesthetically not gonna help. Okay, popping off some leaves. I'm just gonna make that one much shorter. Okay. How cute. You know, this is a smaller vase, but you can make a smaller vase with a taller height. And these are just mums, I tell you, they are pretty sturdy. So I kind of strategically, maybe subconsciously strategically, chose these because when you're doing a foam arrangement, you want something that's going to last longer. You don't want to put flimsy little flowers on there because you want them to hold up, right? Okay, so we're just going to keep going on around here. And I may add something, you know, I did think about adding yellow, but I just feel like this is a neutral. You know, this is a neutral palette. And this would just really even be pretty. You might decorate your bathroom for the holidays. It would be really lovely, like in a bathroom. Okay, I'm gonna stick that in there. Oh, I like that one right there. That looks good. Now I'm gonna just, you know, keep zhuzhing around. Should we add another moss ball? No, I think the 3 looks pretty good. Should I? I guess we could add one lower. I don't know. Let me just keep adding my mums. You know, when you're floral arranging, you don't know until you know. You just don't know until you know. Okay, this one's going lower to kind of go with the shape. I'm going to stick this one. I'm going to pop these guys off for now because I want this to go lower. Okay, stick this one. Oh, even lower. How low can you go? Okay, stick this one right about here. I'm wanting to start kind of covering up a little bit of the floral foam and turning around. I'm turning it around to see where I have gaps. I have a big gap right here. So I'm definitely going to put something over there. Okay. And we are just going to add this guy in here. All right. So have y'all worked with floral foam before? I was pretty intimidated when I first was introduced to floral foam. I feel all my emotions and I felt very panicky when I first started using it because I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, you don't know what you're doing until you know what you're doing. And that's kind of everything in life, right? Okay, let's add in one more. I feel like there's a gap. Just wherever there's gaps, right? Wherever there's gaps. This is just a very simple, get 2 or 3 bunches, a thing of wet floral foam. You know, you can go to your local craft store and get them there. Okay, let's see. There's a gap here. I'm just gonna stick it in here. Give it some more shape, some more fullness. Oh, good. Yeah, that gave it a lot more fullness. So that's what you do. You just look for gaps. And, you know, there's still a gap right here. Take some of the lower flowers, stick them in. You can use all your foliage, especially if you're doing wedding tables. And, hey, that's money on each table. You want to make sure that you are frugal and using everything possible. Okay, so those lower ones are real cute there. You know, I really could go back in and add, you know, I may later change my mind and sprinkle in some greenery, which I actually think would be really nice. But I feel like this gives you an idea of how to build and work with floral foam. So again, we have these little moss balls. Whenever you add splashes of green, it just really, really helps. And you could even put like, little baby carrots all around, like on a little, woven basket tray, add a little splash of color. It would be super lovely. Or stick it in your bathroom. Add a little bunny rabbit. Everyone loves little bunny rabbits this time of year. But I feel like this was really easy and fun. And yes, I still see some floral foam gaps, but you get the idea. So I hope these gave you some fun ideas for Easter. And you guys, tell me what you're doing for Easter. I want to hear. Okay, so maybe you don't want to do a shorter centerpiece, although like conversationally, if you're having conversations at the table, you don't want a big tall centerpiece in your way because that's just intrusive, right? But if you have a tall centerpiece, you may want to put it in an entryway, which would be really, really nice. So make sure, number one, if you're doing a tall vase, you need to find tall stem flowers, right? Because what would not work? What would not work? Our little ranunculus would just get lost in there, right? They just won't work. So get you some jumbo mums. I love these. Now you're going to see your stems where they're a little bit like bruised. Obviously, we want as much height as we possibly can, but we don't want the brown, okay? So cut it at an angle, pop it in. I really regret not getting 2 of these things, of the jumbo mums. One thing that I am really bad about that I need to get better is I need to get multiple of certain flowers, especially like if you're doing a large bouquet. I'm kind of like that monochromatic look. I think it's really, really nice. Now these, sometimes if you're looking to do like a big, gigantic diva accent flower, these are the ones you want to grab because mums are sturdy flowers. They are troopers, okay? They are not going anywhere and they last for a very, very long time. I do love hydrangeas, but they tend to, look at this one. Like I didn't put it enough in water and it's like already starting to wilt. I do know that if you dunk the head in water, it can revive them. And they look all perky, but they're kind of temperamental. And so I'm just really loving how low maintenance these flowers are, okay? There's something to be said for low maintenance flowers, especially jumbo mums. They have so much more personality. There's so many growing techniques that people use these days. People are so smart. And I really appreciate all the flower farmers because what they have to do to get all of these flowers, I just don't even know, but I'm so grateful for them. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers. And what are we gonna add? Maybe some lower little like aster yellow. Oh, I like that. Kind of peeking through. Let's tuck one over there. So fun, so fun. And we're just going to kind of tuck them all. I feel like this really gives it the accent that it needs. Oh, yes. I love it when a plan comes together. We're going to put that one in the center. And add this one over here. And let's just give it a little more greenery. Which greenery should we do? We have choices, choices, choices. Let's look. What do we want to do? We have this one, which I actually kind of like that. Okay, but it's a little bit short, so I don't know. And then we have this whimsical looking like sweet pea sort of thing. Well, that gives it a lot of interest, doesn't it? But does it stand up against the, I feel like it, might get lost in the flower. So let's try another greenery. Oh, I love these things. I picked up, it was the last thing. Yeah, I feel like that gives it more like the cabbagey kind of feel and has the angles. They're like little pom-poms cheering you on, saying you can make this arrangement. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Look at all the different angles. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, let's see. Where am I going to put my other one? How about, and then you always want to watch the angle. So I don't want both of these curled in. We want one kind of angled out. So you want them all on different angles. And I have another one, but I feel like it would be too much. It might take away a little bit from it. And I think that's done. What shall we call this one? This one looks like Susanna. I'm going to call this one Susanna. Just a bright yellow, happy, cheerful arrangement. We have our kind of filler accent. We have our flamboyant greenery and our jumbo mums, and done. Okay, so we created 5 fabulous Easter springy floral arrangements together, and I still have flowers left over. Oh, how fun was that? I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe. Till next time.